Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Wealthy Minds Decoded. My name is Manish Bindi.
And I'm Andy Shaw.
And he's Andy Shaw. So thanks for joining us for another episode. This one's going to be good. I'm excited about this. It's only you on the
Different structure today.
Different structure. We've now transferred over to a weekly podcast rather than a live show. This is the first one. I think we should explain that rather than just jumping that on people.
Okay.
The reason why is because we think we can give you much more value on a week-to-week basis that you can go away and implement and actually go and get more results with. Don't you think so?
I wouldn't have agreed to it otherwise.
Yeah, so there you go. Beautiful answers as usual. Today we're much safer because he's the only one drinking champagne.
But we have had a raw food lunch. So
we've had a raw food lunch, which was beautiful.
Very nice. Whole Foods in Kensington.
It was called Saf Restaurant.
Very nice.
If you're ever in Kensington, I would definitely go and check that out. So today we have a special guest, I would say. Guest director.
Mr. Pete Harm.
Pete Harm's on behind the camera. Pete, how's it going? Say hello to the people.
Very well, thank you. Good evening, everybody.
So Pete's basically here to just whip us when we go off topic. Right?
Pete's here to keep us in line because we sort of drift, and
as you guys know,
when we get boring, he's going to scurry us along. Right.
So let's get into the first show. What are we talking about today? Well, first.
What's tonight, Manish? Andy?
No.
If I missed it, something.
You've missed it.
If I missed something.
It's a case of first thing you've got to do is...
This is for the editors, yeah?
No, this is not for the editors.
Which part?
You're supposed to say what first section of the show is...
Guys, we've actually scripted it this time.
We've scripted this.
Believe it or not.
And the first thing he's forgotten. And it was his idea, right?
Right.
So you're supposed to
say that, yeah?
That,
okay,
right?
So today...
Then we hand over to Pete, who tells us what we're talking about.
Okay.
Got it?
I got it now,
yeah?
Right.
Okay.
So
we're back.
So the first topic of what we want to talk about is what separates, first segment in the show is what separates a wealthy mindset from a poor mindset. And I think this is key, this is vital for everybody to know if you want to make and create wealth. And that's why I came up with it when we were talking about the show guide, and then I forgot it for some reason. So
yeah, you gave it a bad title and I actually renamed it. So
it was your idea? No,
it was your idea, but
I'm glad you know
put
that.
The polish on.
There you go, right. Pete, what's the...
Okay, guys, tonight we're going to talk about self-sabotage.
Right, okay, so this is something that annoys both of us because what we find is, I mean, after doing this myself for 6 or 7 years, teaching people, and you've been doing it for pretty much the same, a bit longer, I think 8 or 9 years, I thought.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, what we find is people that have a poor mindset, what they do is they'll take certain actions towards whatever success they want to create, and then something will come up. You know, for example, if it's investing, they'll get rejected for a certain broker account, or if it's internet marketing, they'll get their Facebook account shut down or something like that, and then they'll panic and their ego will jump in and I'll let you cover the ego bit, but they'll say, it's not going to work now, I've got to find something else. So they sabotage their own success. What do you think of that?
Absolutely. I had a person comment on the community, online mastermind community this morning, and it said he was putting up a blog post daily because he decided that that's what he's going to do. He was going to talk his way through each of his problems and that sort of thing, and he missed a day, and then the ego jumped into his mind and said, oh no, it's just going to be just like every other self-help thing you've done before, and you're going to fail, because he was going to commit. He'd basically decided he wasn't going to get the results quick enough, so his mind had totally messed him up on the fact that this is a long-term plan. Success isn't a quick thing. Success is a marathon.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. You just carry on. It's a case of you keep going until. And I keep playing the word. One of my favourite words is until. You keep doing it until it succeeds. You plant a seed in the ground and you leave it there and water it until it grows.
So why do you think people self-sabotage?
It's basically programming.
So what, from school? Because we're taught as soon as we make a mistake, it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. The school system teaches failure is bad. Well, failure isn't bad. Failure to learn from failure is bad, right? Failure is a case of, if you want more success, you fail more. If you want to double your rate of success, increase your rate of failure. It's just the way successful people have done it, and a few people have managed to verbalise it through over time. So it's a case of successful people don't self-sabotage them. They self-sabotage some areas of their life, but they don't self-sabotage it around the
Not
area.
when it comes to money.
Not when it comes to money or the success or the business they're in. They're on point. But what happens is with other people, because it's a whole series of doubts, they doubt they're going to be successful, so they start to try and succeed before they can get themselves to the position of faith. Yeah, there's only two states, fear and faith, and until they shouldn't move forward until they're out of the state of fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of, I don't know, you name it, every fear under the sun. But when you
what's my family going to think of me?
Yeah, exactly.
What's my friends going to say about me?
It's all a stage of doubt, and until you're in a position of faith, you can't stop self-sabotaging.
So basically, what you're saying is that at every point where it looks like this is not going to be a success, suddenly that comes as further proof and as evidence as to what every other failure has been saying to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're really showing yourself social proof about why you're a failure.
It's when you learned to walk,
Yeah.
you didn't have that issue because you were surrounded by examples of people who could walk. So every time you fell flat on your face,
It's like this is rubbish because that person can do it.
that person can do it, so therefore I can. But
Yeah.
with failure, what you're doing is you're looking around and going, well, everyone around me is failing. Oh, and guess what? I am too.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's a case of you self-sabotage by convincing yourself that you're going to fail too, because every example around you is telling you you're going to fail. Whereas when you were learning to walk, every example around you was telling you you were going to succeed. So guess what? You succeeded, and guess what? You failed.
Yeah.
Right? Have you done
That's
that?
a note for one of the
right, okay.
future shows. I just got a good idea.
Good idea.
It's
really?
just rare.
I know. That's what I'm making a comment on it.
It's just
Chewing a wasp,
it's
mate.
terrible, isn't it?
No, I'm fine, guys, but you need to get a move on. You're getting boring.
Fair enough.
Are we
Okay.
getting boring? Okay.
So,
So the next, do you want to take it? I'll take it.
no,
okay,
hang on.
cool.
Hang
So
on. Set a plan and stop was the. It was a case of this. Let's cover that. We haven't quite finished that point.
So okay, well, I guess what the question to lead on to that would be, what can people do to stop self-sabotaging? And that is, we both agree, know what the hell you want, set a plan in place to actually get what you want, and just because you run into something that looks like the end goal isn't going to be achieved, don't change the plan.
People are in a rush, right? Everybody rushes to succeed because they doubt they're going to get there. So they fear if they don't rush and do it quickly, they're not going to be able to keep going. They're going to fail. Yeah. And so what happens is they set a plan and they rush into it. They don't get the results quick enough, so they doubt that it's going to succeed, and then they literally self-sabotage themselves into becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy where it fails. What you've got to do is you shouldn't start until you've got to a position of faith that you're going to do this until it works. You know, this is essential. This really is essential, guys. Until you actually go, no, look, this walking thing, I'm doing that until I can walk. That's what you did automatically when you were a child. Automatically you did it. And now it's a case of we can't even manage to automatically go, I'm going to save 10% of my money every week. Every time money comes in. We can't even, as adults, educated up the kazoo, right? We can't even, the majority of people cannot do that basic thing, you know? You just can't do it.
Yep.
It's a case of, and they can't do it because they're starting it from a position of fear that they won't actually be able to do it every week. Yeah? And so they won't do the little bit. We're starting at saving 1% and then moving to the next one. Thanks, Pete. Right? Move to the next one.
This is the beauty of having a child, another one, behind the camera.
You're right there, mate. I met Pete's dad the other day. No, I'm not going to go down that road. Right?
Can't talk about people's dads.
No, that's a good point. But that's the problem. It's a case of everyone starts and tries to work when they're doing it from a position of doubt. You can't step your first step forward until you actually have faith that you're actually going to be.
Yeah, because otherwise
it's
it's pointless action, isn't it?
You're going to kill yourself. You're going to self-sabotage. This is what, a wealthy mindset goes, I want that, right? And now I'm going to go and get it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, right? I also think that a wealthy mind looks at a situation and won't self-sabotage because they won't take any actions that are pointless, because that's deemed as time-wasting behavior. Like, I won't bother doing anything unless I know it's going to get me to the end goal. Now, like we've all done it in the past. We'll go and buy something and, you know, something new comes along.
We were discussing a particular business opportunity yesterday.
Yep.
Right? And it was a case of it was a golden business opportunity. It really was. And if it's a win, it was a monumental payout for a particular thing, and it opened up an entire new revenue stream that was worth tens of millions. Yeah. And we were looking at it, and I said, and I'm looking at it from the point of view of, Manesh was looking at it from the point of view of, well, we should look at this, and you should do it, and see what happens. Right? And I was from the point of view of, I had a few more years on the clock than this man. Just a few,
just a couple decades.
And so I was looking at it from the point of view of, look, I've chased these rainbows a few times in my life, and it's a case of it could pay off, but it's a case of until you can get to a position of faith that it would pay off, and you were going to keep going until it would. There is no point in starting. That was what I was trying to say on the phone. I was failing miserably.
You were failing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're failing now, but we're okay with that because we love you.
But but that's the point. Until you're actually going, no, I'm going to do that until it works. What's the point of this? Is not, this is Yoda says, don't try, do. Yeah, either do or do not do. Do not try.
I mean, the payout in the region, just to put it into perspective, was one deal going through, and you're looking at at least a minimum of a $20 million payout. So some people would go, whoa, I need money. Let's go after that. Let's chase it. But at the end of the day, why would you want to bother chasing it until you know that it's going to happen? And then once you know it can happen, you continue chasing until you get it done. You don't just give up.
Whereas what most people will do is self-sabotage. They go, yeah, 20 million fruit flies, mate. Yeah, 20 million. This is fantastic, and they'll chase it, and then their mum will say, well, it's not really working for you, is it? You're wasting your time. And their dad will go, oh, no good at all. And their mates will tell them, oh, it's not working. Then all of a sudden, they give up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's self-sabotage. And the problem is that until you've got to a state of faith that you are doing this, until it's going to happen, you don't do it. That was what I was failing to verbalise yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Pete's telling us to speed up.
Pete's going like this.
Okay, guys. So let's just recap on that. What you're basically saying
is this your way of telling us to hurry the hell up?
You can call it what you like.
All right. Okay. Cool.
I can put it where you like. It's completely up to you.
This is not that type of show.
What we're actually saying,
even though it might be fun.
The vibrating.
What we're actually saying then. Before you're going to move forward, this is obviously something we need to stop. The self-sabotage has to stop. You have to clear your mind, you have to start again, or how else are you going to be able to evaluate new opportunities?
Yeah, if you don't...
you need a fresh mind.
You need a fresh mind. If you don't... Doing what we've said will allow you to stop your self-sabotage, because you'll only be focused on the things that you want to do. At this point, you have a fresh mind that will allow you to look at opportunities. Once you have a fresh mind, you can move on to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is... You like that segue, yeah? That was pretty good, wasn't it?
But we're not doing segue, are we? Right? But that's very good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
What you can do once you have a success mindset.
So what we want to talk about is what you can do. I know, I was just about to lead on to it.
I can't remember the format we discussed literally 20 minutes before we started, right?
Listen, right? You just need to listen to what I'm about to say, and I was leading on to it. Right? You just need to listen to what I'm about to say because I was getting on to it.
This is an ego issue, isn't it?
It's an old man's issue, letting a young guy come in.
It's an old man's issue, right?
Right. So
you can get tablets for that.
You also get a baseball bat for that. Go on then.
Right. So once you've got a fresh mind, you can then go on and do more successful things. So the next segment is, what can you do once you have a success mindset? So Pete, what are we going to talk about today on that?
Well, I'll lead into that subject again. Because I led into it about 5 minutes ago, guys. Just before you tried to lead into it, Manesh. But just to
we all need to go.
To anybody that's obviously desperate enough to be listening to this show, it's the ability to evaluate opportunities.
Okay.
Would you like to outline that, please, gentlemen?
Yeah. So I think when people have a success mindset, what you can do is you can go into an environment where you're being bombarded with opportunities constantly, and you can singularly, with a laser focus, say, screw these 10, that's the one that's going to get me to my goal. And that's what you need to be able to do. And once you have a fresh mind, and once your success mind is on track and back on track, I can walk into a room, and we can all do it, walk into a room. We can walk into a...
You'd never make a newsreader, mate, would you?
we can walk into a right. We can walk into a room, and I can clearly state, no, these opportunities are not going to work. This one is. Whereas unsuccessful mindset.
A perfect example of this is we've got a friend who is one of the world's great speakers, and what he can do is
everyone would know him.
Everyone would know him. We won't mention any names. What he can do is his ability is so good, right? He manages to sell a product that people don't need to the masses, right? People don't need this product, but because they have no ability...
Certain people need the product.
Yeah.
It's not a scam. It's not a scam.
It's not a scam at all. The quality of the product is brilliant, right? But the problem is people don't need it. So what he's actually managed to do is he's actually managed to work out a way to sell a product that people don't need, which costs between 1,000 and 2,000. But the masses don't need. This is a training product that is...
It's a seminar.
Yeah, and it's a perfect product for one of the skill sets you need as a presenter, as a speaker, and that sort of thing. And it's a perfect training product for that. But of course, the majority of people don't need that. First, they need their idea of what they want to do with their life. They need to get their mindset right. Next, they need their idea of how they're going to make their money. And this is a product that comes in way down the line. Yeah, it's a case of it's a product that I'd consider buying, but I wouldn't consider. I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah.
Because it's a case of I haven't got to that stage. And the funny thing is, I can get it for free because he's a friend. Yeah, but he sells this en masse to people, and I've seen people run to the back of the room and that sort of thing because he's brilliant at selling it. But because they have no success mindset that has an ability to actually evaluate whether they need this or not.
It's in fact really, when you want to dig it down, it's more so, I'm on step number 2. What do I need to get to step number 3 in the plan? And then, okay, I need his training, so I'm going to go and buy it.
It's not even
but
that.
They're not doing
it's
that.
Step number 7 or 8, and they haven't even figured out step number 1 yet.
Exactly. And
so you're saying they buy this irregardless of whether they need it?
I think you'll find that language is wrong. The word is actually regardless, not irregardless. You should
learn.
I don't know. You should learn this, Pete. I mean, that's just bad English.
Right.
No one likes bad English, do they? Do you like bad English?
No. Especially when an Indian says it. But anyway. So what we've got a situation where, because they cannot evaluate what they need today, this goes back to our point.
Yeah.
When you have a success mindset, you can evaluate the right opportunities. The problem is, if you so let's say you go to a seminar and you see a great speaker speaking, and you think, wow, I need that product. But if it isn't the product you need right now, why are you buying it?
Yeah. What, are you buying it to plan 10 steps down the line what you're going to need? Who gives a crap? Because at that point you've changed so much. Thank you, Pete. You've changed your plan so much, right? The trajectory of your success has changed, so you might need something else.
We're working on a project at the moment with Pete and a friend Jason. And we're working on this project, and the step we are on is basically landing a big fish sponsor, and landing a big celebrity to endorse the product as well. And this is the step we're on. So we are focusing our mind on this. Now, last night I wasn't in on this discussion, but last night the discussion went on to a particular person that we should ask in to do an element of it for us. And the discussion went on for 45 minutes at about 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's pointless.
Where
I needed to sleep.
Where it was a case of...
And I'm on a Skype call.
Yeah, where it was where the discussion was about a step that's literally 6 or 7 steps down the line. Whereas the only thing...
And we're worrying about it now. It was stupid. Like, we do this as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we want to humanise it.
Yeah, because we all slip into this mistake.
Yeah.
But what needs to happen is... you need the voice of reason, and this is the advantage of a mastermind group. The 4 of us. It's a case of no, this is irrelevant.
It's like you'd get for example, yesterday night, me, Pete, and Jason are discussing something that doesn't need discussing. We get on the call with Andy, and Andy says, "You guys are idiots. Why are you talking about this now?"
Which is fair. We were on the call earlier in the day, and we were discussing something, and Pete got on it, and he
said, "That's rubbish.
This is rubbish. Doesn't need to be discussed. We're making this far too complicated."
Yeah.
Yeah, you need the voice of reason and that sort of thing, so you can evaluate the opportunity properly.
The key thing is, though, you can become very powerful as an entrepreneur, because developing this skill over the last year, right? It's taken this long to get it. Up until then, needed a mastermind. But you can really start to become an unstoppable part of the 1%, or on your way to the 1%, by becoming the voice of reason yourself. You know, people like Richard Branson, Donald Trump have the amazing ability to sit there and go, right, this, and this. Why the hell am I wasting my time on it? I don't need to worry about that. It sounds simple, but try doing it in the heat of the moment.
I had a prime example a few years back. I had a business, one of my businesses, and we owned 6 or 7 companies, and we set up a cafe on the back of a particular trade outlet. We had on a trade outlet, and so we did this, and it was a cafe right at the back of a trading estate in Worthing, and we ended up building financially one of the most successful cafes in the area. Financially, it probably was the most successful cafe, and it was people loved the food. It was, you know, an experience. It was everything. We'd done everything right on it.
So you were flipping burgers?
I wasn't flipping burgers. I was paying a chef to do all that sort of thing. But the point was, I was devoting a lot of my time to a business that was producing us chump change in comparison to the rest of our businesses. Yeah, I hadn't evaluated the model correctly. So I'd fallen in love with the idea of doing this, and of course it's a case of just because I could do it didn't mean I should do it. So I wasn't very good at evaluating the opportunities. But the second I realised I was wasting my time on it, it was like, right, get rid of that, done. You know, and that taught me a very valuable lesson to learn to evaluate the opportunities. Don't do something just because you can do it. You must do it because you should do it, because it's progressing you towards your end goal. That was taking me away from it, because it was deflecting my attention from other businesses where I could make a lot more money and grow the business a lot faster.
Yeah, I mean, just a point on this. We've both done this. I mean, I remember a few years ago where we had 4 different products within an investment education business, and it was like you're trying to focus on building 4 different products that are getting you to not far enough, but you know what I mean, right? I'm trying to articulate it, but it's not coming across right.
That's because you're stupid.
That's because I'm stupid. Okay. So you're spreading the butter too thin, right? So you're trying to create 4 different channels of revenue, 4 different brands, 4 different businesses in effect, and it's just not worth it. So then focusing down on one business, we've now in a space of 18 months got so much progress in one business than we ever had in the other, you know, all 4 of them combined. And I think that's, everyone does this. You need to just, if you can do that, then you're on your way to a huge success. Now,
okay.
Yeah. So the next thing that we wanna talk about is actually this was an important part that I think we need to do, and that's to really help you guys. We don't like discussing people, but we like discussing ideas. And the way we can discuss ideas when it comes to mindset is discuss the people that we know that are hindering their own success, I would say. So what we're going to discuss is case studies about people that we both know and the ideas behind why their mindset is holding them back. So Pete, what we got in line for today?
Well, we need to discuss the case study of an individual and why their mind is holding them back.
Okay then. Well, that was...
So, well done, mate.
I'll just go now. If you're going to be doing my bit, that's not a problem with me.
I didn't...
Don't let the door hit you on the backside.
No, I'm not doing it.
Right, okay.
But you feel free to carry on reading the online Minesh.
No, I'm not, though. You're supposed to... Did you not write the notes down, bro? You're supposed to read this bit, right?
You were supposed to shut up and Pete was supposed to close. Go on to the next stage.
So why have we before done me announcing what the segment is, then asking Pete what the topic is?
No. Pete,
that's what we did. So you guys are Muppets. As long as you guys are Muppets, I'm okay with this. So my ego is at bay.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's loud and clear. It's going blah, 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 right? It's like a little string on your back, isn't it?
A man that can't accept responsibility, maybe.
You know too much.
A man that can't accept responsibility. A man that can't accept
exactly.
Yeah.
It's an insecurity.
Yeah, exactly. This is a prime example of a major insecurity problem.
Watch Andy now. He's gonna break this down for all of us right now, it's live on TV.
Okay, and that's it for today.
Right. Let's get on to this. Let's talk about this person. So this particular person that we both know, he's very, very smart, very, very hardworking, very, very educated, and he's committed to a certain extent. What happened was, I met this person, and he said, right, I've got a goal of hitting a certain amount of revenue by a certain birthday of mine. I'm not going to say it because it's pretty obvious when I say that. The person will know, right? But it's not about the person, it's about the mindset. And then what happened was, another great entrepreneur, I really look up to the entrepreneur that gave him this opportunity, gave him the opportunity to go and work with his business, and he did that. He had a dream, which was then taken a back seat, and he started looking at other different ventures. Started doing, it was just in the internet marketing field, started doing product launches that, you know, if people have heard about them, started making a certain pretty good revenue, then started living the lifestyle, got caught up in the lifestyle, etc., etc. And then what happened was he gets to a certain point and his focus changes. So he doesn't, I don't think he expects what he's doing to actually make.
What's happened is he set himself a goal. First off, he set himself a monetary goal, which is always a weak position to be in, because you should set yourself a lifestyle goal of, it's a case of, this is what my life is going to look like, and then the monetary equivalent has to be there for it to have happened. So you don't set yourself a monetary goal.
Can I just say, success is not money.
No.
Success is not money. Money is in fact just a byproduct of success.
Yeah.
So you can't look at success being money. That's just a personal philosophy that I have.
But what he did was, he was in a position of, he got himself to a state of mind where it was a case of, forget the fact that he set the wrong goal, a monetary goal. But he said, thank you. What he did was, right,
I will laugh.
Right. So what he did was, he set himself this goal to basically, thanks Pete, right? So it's the case of, it's very hard to work with a chimpanzee on the other side of the camera, but I will carry on, right?
Even if it kills you.
If it kills me. What he did was, he set himself this monetary goal, and it was a case of, it's great to set any goal is good, right? But what he did was, the next day, it was a case of, it was reinforced, the next day it was reinforced, the next day it was reinforced, and it was a case of, somewhere along the line, in a period of 2 years, he lost track of that goal, yeah? So in other words,
lifestyle took over, you know.
He didn't feed his mind with his goal.
That's it.
Daily.
Yeah.
Because it's, I'm not one of these guys who believes in writing down the goal and then repeating it daily. I'm one of these guys who works on getting the goal to whatever I want from life, whatever the desire I've set. I work to a point where I go, that's what I want. I want to walk. So I now know I'm going to only do everything that helps me walk. Yeah, I know what my ultimate goal is, and it's always in my mind. I've got it in a fraction of a second. It's never away for very long. At any time I need it, it's there. What he did was, he allowed other information to come in and detract him from his goals. He lost sight of it.
Well, he let his current reality dictate what his end vision should be. And that's not what any 1% minded person does. What they do is say, forget what reality is. This is what I want, and I'm willing to die for it. Right? I remember I saw a video by Will Smith on was being interviewed. Yeah. Brilliant video, right? And even he said, success is, this is what I want, and I will die until I get it. Or I will get it or die. Right? At which point, life's got no option but to give it to you. So this person is, what he's doing is letting his current reality of, I've not hit my goal, or I've not done this, or I said I was going to do this and I'm a failure, and all this other rubbish, right? Inflict his mind and affect his end vision. And what that means is, when that happens, he's looking for other opportunities that he suddenly needs to create a whole new basis for, and he won't achieve.
Yeah, exactly. When I went bankrupt a few years ago, I sat back and I decided, what am I going to do? And I'd just gone bankrupt, so I'd just lost tens of millions. And I sat back and I went, what am I going to do? And I thought, I'm going to write a book on success. I'm going to teach people how to be successful, right? How, one part of my mind instantly jumped in and said, how the hell can you talk to people about being successful? You've just gone bankrupt, for Pete's sake, losing tens of millions of pounds. Recently, you got that book. You passed that book over.
This is a great book, by the way.
Right? recently, Manish, my friend Manish, this guy here, he said to me, "You should read Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil," right? The author of Think and Grow Rich. And Napoleon Hill wrote this book, I think it was just after, in 1939.
A few years after Think and Grow Rich.
And what he'd done is, he tells the story of in 1926, when I think he wrote The Success Principles, he just failed. He'd just lost it and then decided what he was going to do was write a book on success. So I was amazed that the parallel, he had gone through the same thing and then sat back and went, what am I going to do now? I'm going to write a book on success. And I did exactly the same thing. This case of, he didn't allow his current situation to detract from the fact that he could write a book on success, the most successful book on success that's ever been produced.
Yeah, like you were telling me today, it sells more copies today than it did back in 1978
and 1937.
1937.
Yeah, close, mate, close. I know it was a long time before you were born, 1978, but so that's what he did. So he didn't allow his current reality to affect the fact that he was going to write the best book ever on success. And I had exactly the same position. It's a case of, and you have to step back from your current situation. You know, it's I think in the book Science of Getting Rich, and Bob Proctor talks about this. It takes great mind power to think about abundance when surrounded by the trappings of poverty.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do, because if you've got millions, then it's easy to get there. This is why people were able to walk, because there was examples of people are able to walk.
Yeah.
But what we have to do is we have to see past that, and we need to go, right, well, there aren't all of the examples around there. There aren't stacks and stacks of successes. There's stacks and stacks and stacks of failures. So we have to go, right, well, they're irrelevant. There are successes, and I'm going to be one of those. Fault just then. Manesh didn't have enough memory space on his computer. He's not very efficient. Anyway, what I was saying to close it off was, you have to see abundance when surrounded by the trappings of poverty. You can't, if you want to go somewhere different, the chances are your surroundings aren't going to look right. And it's a case of what this particular person that we're talking about did was, he originally set that intention. He then manifested into his life a great teacher to help him do it.
I mean, this person I respect as an online entrepreneur.
This person, an online business turning over $10 million a year plus
minimum
from a laptop, at home in the Far East. That's a successful entrepreneur, and he mentored this person who has since lost complete track of the original, the goal.
Of the dream, lost the mentor.
Yeah, and it's a case of, because he lost track of the goal. If he didn't, the problem is, you've got to feed yourself, you've got to feed your mind daily your intention. If you haven't got to the position of faith where you're going to keep going until you get there, you have to keep feeding it daily. You need motivation, right? When you get to the stage of faith, you don't need motivation, because you're inspired all the time. You've got inspiration. But he didn't get that inspiration point. He was motivated. This is the deep difference in the strength and weakness between motivation and inspiration, and which brought about his demise.
Well, I think he's still got the qualities of success. I think he will get there. Absolutely. If he gets over what he's doing.
He's a young guy, so the chances are he will pick it up. Most people don't have proper success, until they get past that. The failure is a good thing. I still don't look at failure as a bad thing. And this, again, as Manesh quite rightly says, the idea of these case studies is as an example. What we'd like to do is, we'd like people to submit their case studies to us, where they say, this is my life. What am I doing wrong? What is the key element that I could change right now? And if you want to, just put a false name on it or something like that.
Where you want to do that, by the way, is if you go to wealthymindsdecoded.com, find the blog post in regards to this episode, and comment underneath that. You can put a fake name, fake whatever you want to put. All we want to know is, we want to help you guys with real examples, identify how you can change and how you can improve. That's it.
So you don't have to put a real name, just put a name that, let's say you want to do Burt Hill or whatever it is. Put that name in, so that then you'll know that we're talking about your example.
Yeah. And
we'll go through and analyse it. And so we'll look at it and go, you're going, this lady's going wrong this way, or whatever it is, and we'll take it apart for you.
And I'm pretty sure, I think that will help you guys and provide a lot of value. So make sure you go and do that on wealthymindsdecoded.com. And guys, again, the main thing is, you want to get all of these points. You need to get your mindset right first, right? So you need to learn what separates the wealthy minds from the poor minds. Get your mind right first. Then you need to look at how successful minds go and actually do what they're doing. And then the most important thing is make sure you learn from the people around you, which is what the case study element is. Right? So on that note, I think we can, nothing else to discuss?
That's it for today, guys.
That's it for today.
Wrap it up, that's great.
So, right.
Cool.
So, guys, we shall see you. Guys, leave your comments. Leave your suggestions. Leave your, share the show. We're doing this to help you guys. We both run our own independent businesses. This is really set up just to help you guys understand the differences in mindset so you can go and make an impact in the world with whatever you're doing. So make sure you share it. Make sure you come on the blog on wealthymindsdecoded.com. Share some love. And we shall see you next week. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.